Hello everyone and welcome back. This time we're talking about kicks. There are 4 straight line fundamental kicks I want to talk about, 3 more fundamental than the 4th one. So let's talk about those 3 in this video for white and yellow belts later on to really practice and hit this heavy. So for our first kick, we have the front kick, then we have the round kick, then we have the side kick. This is all going to be done with the lead leg, but notice I have a partner here. This is going to help me to where I don't have to worry about balance. I'm just practicing the technique itself. Once you have a really good understanding of the technique, that's whenever you can try to do the same thing without the chair. Now knowing a reference point of where the foot needs to be while you're trying to worry about everything else. So now let's go ahead and get to work, holding on to Mr. and Mrs. Chair and stepping into place. So I like to kind of face my belly button a little bit towards it or put it right to my side depending on where I am. But for the camera, I'm just gonna keep it right in front of me. For the front kick, I'm gonna step, chamber, kick, chamber, down, back out. Now check this out, whenever it comes to the round kick, I'm gonna step in just a little bit more with my heel, pointing my knee more straight, flattening my foot and coming around with the round kick before pulling it back, stepping it down and reverting my feet. Stepping my heel into position. Now for the side kick, instead of pointing my knee towards my target, I'm gonna pull it back, almost like to my opposite shoulder, exposing the heel and toes in position a little bit more before popping it out and coming right back down and out. So let's break those down a little bit more. Front kick. So notice whenever I did my front kick that my toes were a little bit more kind of angular, more to my target more than anything. So from here I step, knee and my chamber. I chamber by doing a few different things. Not only drawing my knee high into place, but also by pushing my hips a little forward to kind of help offset and teeter-totter my balance onto my bottom foot, but I also position my chambering foot. The chamber isn't just in the leg, it's how you kick with your foot. I can practice this by putting my entire foot onto the ground, leaving my toes, raising until I can straighten potentially the top or shoelace of my foot all the way to my knee. Now I'm gonna squeeze and hold tight this, picking it straight up. Now, whenever I extend my leg, if I just kick it out, I'm gonna be able to kick a little bit more into the ball of the foot. But if I'm able to raise it up and extend everything in a place to where I'm reaching more into it, then I'm allowing that kind of positioning of the toes to be less into the trajectory rather than extending straight up into it. So I'm gonna pull those toes back, I'm gonna pull the knee, and I'm going to extend once again by coming a little bit high, poking in, and then coming back down. So I step up, poke, back, down, and come right back into position. Check out the positioning for the round kick. From here, I'm gonna step my heel forward. Round kick and side kick, I'm gonna have a lot more similar kind of areas whenever it comes to my chambering. So I need to already prepare as much as possible if I'm even doing a round kick to put my toes behind me. Now I'm gonna point my knee by picking it up as high as I can, but now creating a surface between my knees and my shoulders, almost on a flat wall. Like I'm just flat up against the wall, pressing my hip forward, but shoulders back to still maintain control of the awareness of the target. Make sure you're looking where you're kicking, pointing the foot. This is gonna be a little bit different. You can later on kick with the ball of the foot whenever it comes to the round kick, but for now, I'm gonna try with that shoelace more than anything to point, creating a flat line between the knee and the big toe. Now I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna extend by not just pushing into place, but by swinging my knee, boom, with it just a little bit. That way you have more extension into the target and not 2 separate motions whenever it comes to knee coming back, toes coming forward. Allow everything to come forward upon impact. So step up, pivoting by getting heavy onto the toes, loose on the heel just to poke it forward, pointing by really getting on that flat wall and pointing toes to then come up, bam, and back and around. Just like the front kick, the more control you show now of re-chambering after you're done with the kick, the more that's gonna pay off later on trying to hide and sneak around those kicks. So now, side kick, especially with the side kick, really kind of starting with a good ready bent stance. Bent legs are ready legs. Hands on the partner, stepping the heel into place. Now more than ever, once I start to pull that knee back, I extend back and down. Now, whenever I extend, I'm gonna pivot my foot into position, almost like I'm getting ready to turn and run away from my target with my hips. This allows you to stretch a little bit easier into motion if you're trying to go for height, for side kick, or for round kick, but this also allows a really good, safe, and sturdy positioning. If I go right here, not only am I going to be fighting my hips, but if I have a really strong push, two things, knee and ankle are going to be pushed off of this joint in ways that they're not designed to. So if you do this 1,000 times down the road, it could cause a little bit of issues with your joints. So once again, training for a long time, not just cutting it short. So from here, pointing the toes, pointing the heel towards the target. I'm gonna keep my hips facing down and forward, try to keep my toes and elbows, my shoulders and my elbows facing where my target is. That way I can really crunch into the side. I'm gonna chamber by pulling my knee as far as I can to my opposite shoulder, and then keeping my toes flat and pulled. From here, I'm gonna expose the heel by pulling, almost like I'm trying to touch my toes to my shin, and then extending by having everything come together. Similar to the round kick, I want everything to be going in one motion and not opposite motions where my foot comes forward, bam, and my knee comes back to where there's additional pressure and a little bit extra shock in my knee. So I'm gonna pull and stomp, and pull and stomp, and then come right back down. So once again, we have the 3 kicks. Front kick, we come up, pivoting, chambering, kick, back, down, out. Real deep pivot whenever it comes to the round kick to come up and swing, boom, everything together, down and back. Now the side kick, step up, pull, out, back, and down. And of course, don't forget to practice as much as you can, equally on both sides. If you're learning it for the first time forever, then maybe getting a really good understanding of one side might not be a bad idea to give you a really good reference point of the other. But the end goal is to be as equal as much as possible. As you will get to a certain point to where there are going to be sparring practitioners that are going to see that and use it as much as possible. So, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Let's do it.